What are we going to do as a church? Our souls need to wake up. We need to respond to the gospel of Jesus. He said, go into the world.
We don't want to deal with reality, Christian. We don't even want to deal with reality, even though we've been saved from this place.
I'm calling on you today in the name of Jesus to rise up to the call of God. Christ is coming back soon.
If I start telling people about hell, I might just scare them off. Where are you going to scare them off to? Hell number 2? People stop and think about it. If hell really exists, and it does, I didn't say that Jesus did, then don't you think people need to know about it? Can't you at least give them a fighting chance? Or are you just going to sit there and let them burn?
Well, hello. We're here with Don't Let Them Burn and Chris Taylor at the Deception in the Desert Conference. And this has been an exciting event. We've had a lot of great information, a lot of fantastic conversations. And just let you know that for myself as a speaker, my name is Teichrib, and I was here participating with this event. And my subject matter that I was discussing was, one of them was transhumanism. And for some of you, that may be a new topic, a new term. The concept basically is this, that mankind, through our science and technology, can create our own evolution, that we can, through science and technology, extend our lifespan, enhance humanity, and become possibly more unified through that technology as well. And so my conversation, part of it, my talk, was on that particular subject. What's interesting from a media perspective is how the media, and particularly the movie industry, has gravitated toward those themes. You can even think back to the early 1980s and the Terminator movie, which demonstrates this concept from artificial intelligence, and you can flash forward all the way to now with so many different flicks coming out showing that man and machine come together, or that we are somehow connected into the hive mind. The movie Avatar, which is of course quite a few years old already, really demonstrates that transhumanist view, that man can upload consciousness, can interact and become one with his technology, one with the planet. The Avatar has more than just simply transhumanism, but different types of views regarding spirituality and ecology, along with the transhumanist theme of man being able to interact at a higher level through technology. So those were some of the topics. I didn't bring in those movie examples in my presentations at Deception in the Desert, but we did talk about the transhumanist viewpoint, their worldview. We also talked quite a bit about global governance and ideas of political oneness, religious oneness. In fact, we talked quite a bit about oneness as a dominant paradigm, and oneness being this. Oneness demonstrates that, or gives this idea that man, nature, and God, or divinity, are all one, essentially one. Whereas the biblical view is, no, God is other. There's an otherness to him. He is utterly incomparable, different, distinct, completely unique from the rest of creation. So reality is really built around two. And then how those two things challenge and basically conflict with each other in their worldview, and how oneness can play itself out in technology. It can play itself out certainly in the messages of media. It can play itself out in politics, in social issues. The list just goes on and on and on. Religion, interfaithism, the move to unify all things under this common theme of oneness, which is really a Babel kind of idea, a Tower of Babel kind of concept. We can create our own security, create our own order in the works of our hands, coming together as one, coming together in unity. Where of course the biblical view is, no, our security needs to rest in Jesus Christ. It needs to rest in the Creator, the one who is distinct, different, the one who is the other. And so that's quite a bit of what I was discussing and describing at Deception in the Desert. And thankfully, when Chris came and said, hey, let's do an interview and talk about some of this stuff, and the name of his show, Don't Let Them Burn. I mean, what we're talking about here is mankind's desire to constantly be in charge of his own situation, that we are the masters of our destiny. And when I was younger, I often thought, why in the world in Genesis, when Adam and Eve partook of the fruit to be as God, to have this special enlightenment, this new knowledge of good and evil, why was death the consequence? Why death? Well, if God, as this other, is the author of life and the author, the creator of all things, when we turn and choose a road other than him, other than the author of life, the natural consequence is we've chose the road of death. We have chose the road of destruction. We've chose the road that ultimately says that we burn. And it's been a choice we make, not a choice he makes, because we've turned our back on the author of life. And so all the stuff we're talking about, from transhumanism to media, to that influence, to all these various other aspects and areas of society, ultimately it's this constant screaming message saying we're in charge of our own destiny. We reject the author of life. We choose our own path. What's the consequence?